closer and closer to first pitch. Time to join the legendary public address announcer here in Texas, Chuck Morgan.
Presenting our nation's colors for tonight's game, please welcome the Texas Department of Public Safety Honor Guard. Here to honor America with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome, from right here in Texas, multi-platinum selling recording artist, Cody Johnson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ceremonial first pitch coming up on the other side of this break. Fresh off hosting the World Series, the All-Star Game, the Midsummer Classic here at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Some Texas Rangers legends in the building. Nolan Ryan makes his way to home plate as part of this ceremonial first pitch. We're going to see a hard thrower in Paul Skeens in just a moment. One of the guys that define that art right here. Ferguson Jenkins up there as well, and Pudge Rodriguez, 3 Hall of Famers who played for the Rangers, and a guy that's going to join him right there in Adrian Beltre. It's got to be Pudge to catch this ceremonial first pitch. The guy who spent the final 8 of his 21 big league seasons here with the Texas Rangers. A lot of his best seasons came here in Texas. As part of this whirlwind week, we'll head up to Cooperstown. He throws out the ceremonial first pitch to get us ready for the 94th All-Star Game. Yeah, we welcome up top to the broadcast booth, the 8-time All-Star, the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. Folks, you are in for a treat with a man on the mound for the National League. It's been all the hype leading up to this one. Paul Skeens, just 22 years old. He was drafted a year ago. He debuted 2 months ago, and he's going to start the All-Star Game tonight.
Yeah, you think about the first time the #1 pick and a rookie starts the All-Star Game. Well, you'd love to see him go 7 innings, but he's going to go 1, and he's got electric stuff. His fastball, his changeup, his slider, the stats. Pittsburgh is in good hands with Paul Skeens. Now, he's going to have a great lineup to go against, but I think his juices are going to be flowing, and 100 miles an hour will easily be reached.
Now, you talked about the lineup that he's going to face off with. Look, the house is full of All-Stars, obviously, but there are still 2 that tend to rise above the rest, literally and figuratively. Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge at the peak of their powers this season, even stirring up conversations about Triple Crown zone chases.
Absolutely. There are always matchup nightmares in this game. Every pitcher thinks, what could I do facing an all-star lineup? Well, they don't have to worry about that. But two guys that are absolutely dominating the first half. Aaron Judge ahead of 2 years ago when he had a historic year. And Ohtani, well, the Dodgers signed him to do this and pitch next year. Both lineups are loaded. The American League obviously a little bit deeper, but each pitcher is going to have their hands full.
Well, Texas has kind of been the center of the baseball universe over the last year, and once again, it is the place to be. The All-Star Game comes up next on Fox.
1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I got a song for y'all.
Welcome to the Midsummer Classic. Deep in the heart of Texas.
I need some stars to sleep under. Find me a train, I'll hop out west. If she wants a cowboy, I'll cowboy the best.
Pull up a chair.
It's the MLB All-Star Game.
I've been walking these streets so long.
On a warm Texas night in July, welcome to an all-star rodeo. 60 of baseball's best take the bull by the horns in the Big D.
But I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me. Like a rhinestone cowboy.
The sensations of a season on top.
I'm told it's all in the hips.
Tall in the saddle.
Just don't look the bull in the eyes.
Awesome arms.
See the bull, ride the bull.
Booming bats.
The worst thing you can do is go up there guessing. You have to have a plan. How hard can it be?
Twists, turns, and tumbles. Hold on there, partner.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
It seemed like a good idea in spring training.
Rip-roaring showman in a midsummer classic. The American League, the National League, and that ain't no bull. Live from Texas, it's MLB's All-Star Game on Fox.
Well, it is 99 degrees here in Arlington, Texas, so the roof is closed, but we can crack a door open. You just got to make sure you shut it really fast. Don't let the AC out. Come on inside this massive, epic building, Globe Life Field. First time since the 1930s, the defending World Series champ hosts the All-Star Game. It's the 2024 MLB All-Star Game on Fox, presented by MasterCard. Moments ago, the Youth of the Year for Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Tarrant County's main branch, Zaria S. was accompanied by Luke Wilson in delivering the game ball to the mound. Wilson stars in the upcoming theatrical release, You've Gotta Believe, which memorializes the story of a Fort Worth Little League team that dedicated its season to a teammate's dying father. And it probably reached the Little League World Series. That film will release nationwide on August 30th. Zaria is headed to Spelman College to study law. Right down there to the center of things, Ken Rosenthal with Corbin Burns.
Thanks, Joe. Corbin, your fourth straight All-Star game, but your first start. How would you describe what you're feeling right now as you're getting ready to warm up?
It's awesome. It's exciting. That's the best word to say. It's an honor. Not many guys get to do this. So when I was named the starter, just overwhelming excitement. Looking forward to representing the Orioles in the American League.
Your wife gave birth to twins just a couple of weeks ago. What has it been like? How hectic has it been these past few weeks?
It's been crazy. Doing what I can to see them. Lots of FaceTimes. My wife's a superhero. To go through what she did by herself at home is incredible. I can never retire for it. But I got her blessing to come today. So if she's watching, I love you and thank you for everything you do. And ready to go.
Corbin, good luck tonight. Now over to Tom Verducci.
Thanks. Marcus Semien, this is pretty cool. Defending World Series champion, starting the All-Star game in your home ballpark. Nobody has done that since Joe DiMaggio and some Yankee teammates in 1939. What does this opportunity mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been about 90 years, and we want to put on a show tonight. I think for me, I'm comfortable in this spot right here, so it'll be fun for me, but I'm sharing the field with a bunch of great players.
No pressure, but Joe D went deep in front of the home fans back in '39.
Let's do it. I'm ready to do it.
Thanks, Marcus. Back to you, Joe.
All right, guys, time to meet this National League starting lineup. That man there is going to bat second. Shohei Ohtani follows Ketel Marte, and then two of the three Phillies in Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, who's the first baseman at the All-Star game for the first time. A couple Brewers starters in William Contreras and Christian Yelich. Then it's Alec Boehm, his first appearance. Teoscar Hernandez started last night, won the home run derby. Now he starts in center field and bats eighth. And Jurickson Profar, this long journey to reach superstardom, bats ninth in left field. Now there is Corbin Burns after 6 seasons in Milwaukee, traded to Baltimore this offseason. And John, the Orioles hope that they have an ace right here that can help get them over the top.
Yeah, he's been awesome for Baltimore. He throws a lot of pitches that spin, his cutter, his slider, and he has been everything that Baltimore wanted. He wants to get through this first inning. His challenge, everybody's challenge, Mr. Ohtani.
Yeah, and the umpiring crew for this 94th All-Star game, James Hoy, 16-year umpiring veteran, his second All-Star game. The American League has dominated this event. They'd won 9 consecutive Midsummer Classics prior to last year when the National League won it up in Seattle 3-2. Yeah, we are ready for the 94th All-Star game. Ketel Marte climbs in at the All-Star game for the first time in 5 seasons. Burns has one that he likes. And off we go with a fastball outside 1-0.
Typically what you're going to see out of every pitcher is the RPMs, the velocity will go up. It's their only chance they get to compete an inning at a time, and there'll be a lot of adrenaline.
Burns, a guy who grew up trying to pitch like Nolan Ryan, even though he was born the year after Ryan retired. For whatever reason, he chose to make Ryan the subject of one of his first book reports in school, and his parents say that's when he really fell in love with pitching and has tried to emulate him since. And maybe extra inspiration pitching in Texas's home ballpark. That's a bounce at a first. Marte is the first out. And here comes Shohei Ohtani, who in his first season with the Dodgers, John, has continued to push the limits.
Well, it's been unbelievable. We all know he's not pitching this year, and a lot of the concentration has gone to hitting. Well, what has he done? He's on track to be another MVP, even though he's only a DH this time. His numbers, you see him on the ranking, and wow, just a great start to a mega contract.
Well, he's #1 in home runs. You always have the power, but he's hitting a career best .316. He's 23 out of 26 in stolen bases as well. Yeah, and historically good first half in Dodger blue for Ohtani. Only guy with more home runs prior to the All-Star break. And Dodger uniform, Cody Bellinger during his MVP season. Ohtani tries to lay off. That's ball 1.
We see the cutting action. He's thrown backdoor cutters to the left-handers and then tries to jam them in. Keep it off the barrel of the bat in this ballpark.
Cutter that he throws more than anybody does. That's his main fastball. And a beautiful one right there.
And that's how you tie up left-handed hitters. You get that pitch. Obviously, Mariano Rivera was the most famous cutter in all of baseball. And Corbin Burns is right up there with Mariano on how he throws it and moves it around.
Ahead of Ohtani, 1-2. Burns comes back home, and Ohtani watches a changeup miss, and the count evens 2-2.
Well, being his 4th All-Star game, Corbin Burns understands the moment, and he's actually throwing pitches normal that he would as if he's starting a game and not really overthrowing. And that's the hardest part about new players coming to an All-Star game, especially pitchers, and they know they're facing great players, but the tendency is to overthrow and get outside your mechanics in that one inning. You're just trying to be too perfect.
The payoff. Ohtani takes the walk and is the first base runner of the game. talking about the American League dominating the All-Star game in recent seasons. Pitching's been the biggest reason why. 9-1 over the last 10 games. They've given up fewer than 3 runs per game. That was all the National League got last year in the winning effort. Just the National League pitching was just as good in Seattle. So Ohtani's aboard, and Trey Turner, who's having a monster season for the Phillies, climbs in. Swings at the first pitch, flies it to center field. There's Aaron Judge. And there's out number 2. So from one Philly to another at the plate as Bryce Harper makes his 8th All-Star game appearance, but his first, John, as a first baseman.
Yeah, look for Bryce to be a little aggressive here in the first inning. 2 outs. Try to get something in the middle of the plate to do some damage.
Can you believe it's his first All-Star game as a Philly?
He's had some injuries, probably cost him a little bit, but yeah, it's hard to believe. It won't be his last.
First pitch from Corbin Burns is on the outside corner for a strike.
Now, I know with Harper up there, the manager's going to want him to hit, but 24 stolen bases allowed by Corbin Burns. Fast runner Ohtani.
23 out of 26 this season on the bases. That's a fastball strike, and it's 0-2.
I would say now with 2 strikes, Ohtani's going to go.
Okay. By a wide margin, leads his team in that category. Not budging. Harper swats a base hit down the line. Kwan over to cut it off. Ohtani chugs into third. Harper's to second with a 2-out double. So Bryce Harper in his first at-bat in the All-Star game in a long time has a double.
2 strikes, takes this pitch away and goes away. Just kind of slaps at it. And a rare, fairly routine double. Kwan gets the ball in pretty quickly.
Second and third with 2 away. And the catcher for the Brewers comes up. Now we got Mike on Bryce. They're William Contreras. Second team that he's been to the All-Star game with. He kind of came out of the middle of nowhere to do it with the Braves a couple years ago. They trade him to the Brewers in 2 seasons there. He's been one of the top catchers in baseball. Now an 0-1 from Burns. He fouls it off.
Caught his former pitcher. Burns now facing his former pitcher. 2 strikes again. Getting out ahead has Burns on the last 2 hitters.
Yeah, trying to finish him off for the first time, getting to that spot. That's in the dirt. Back in there by Rutschman. All Baltimore battery in this first inning.
By the way, that is a severe plus for a pitcher to get your own catcher. It rarely happens, but when you get it, it's really, really a nice feeling.
6 All-Star game appearances for you. How many did you ever get to pair up?
No, I did not. Got in 6 of the 8, but the catcher gets some intel on a lot of pitchers. That's the good news. If you're a catcher for a team that's in the hunt and you're catching the first 5 innings, you're seeing a lot of those same guys that you're going to eventually face.
You're trying to gather a little intel from your teammates too, right? 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch. Contreras takes ball 3. You were asking the managers about that. They both kind of got smirks on their face and said, yeah, you enjoy it, but yeah, you're learning what you can and putting it in the mental bank.
Coolest part is you see them from afar, but when you're up close, you get to really understand the greatness of a lot of these players.
Bounce back to the mound. Burns has it, and he pitches around a couple base runners to put up a 0 and get this All-Star game rolling. Here he comes, Paul Skeens, man of the moment, 22-year-old rookie, starts it for the National League. When 2 months after he makes his Major League debut, Paul Skeens starts the All-Star game.
I can only imagine his heartbeat. He's been in big moments in college, so it's not like he's come from high school to this point, but he has electric stuff. He really could throw all four-seam fastballs, but he's got a really good two-seamer, a changeup, and a slider. And we were going to see him against one of the top contact guys in the American League. This guy, he likes to put it in play.
Stephen Kwan, he's leading the majors, hitting .352, and he's the first man that Skeens will face in this highly anticipated all-star start. First pitch, pops it up, backing out of play. This is a really good American League lineup that Kwan leads off. And you've got a few MVP candidates to follow in Henderson, Soto, and Judge. I think the world would love to see Skeens against Judge in this first inning. Alvarez gets to play in an all-star game for the first time. Jose Ramirez, his 6th appearance. Guerrero, Rutschman, and Simeon. And it's quickly 0-2 on Kwan.
He's got great glove side command. In other words, into a lefty, away to a righty. But then you see the fading action there of the two-seamer and changeup. And his ability is off the charts, and he could literally throw all four-seam fastballs. I was hoping we'd see more of them because it's an angle that not a lot of people see. You see the 89 strikeouts through his first 11 career starts. Pittsburgh's going to have to find a way to get him through the second half. And can you imagine them in the postseason?
Oh, man. There is that four-seamer at 100 miles per hour. Popped into shallow center field, and an easy one for Trey Turner for the first out.
At 6'6" with his arm angle and his ability to repeat his mechanics, of course, that four-seam fastball is unlike some other four-seam fastballs. And then you couple that with his ability to go to both sides of the plate. Man, he is electric and showing off in Pittsburgh.
Faces a guy who won Rookie of the Year last year and is an MVP candidate this season in Gunnar Henderson. Skeens comes home and gets strike one. One-of-a-kind pitcher and a one-of-a-kind path to the big leagues for Skeens. Now, his first dream was to be a fighter pilot. So Paul starts his college career at the Air Force Academy. Gets his fastball by him, and it's 0-2. On the baseball field, he's much more of a catcher than he is a pitcher at first. And we're not saying he just goes up there and does a little catch. No, he hit above 400 as a freshman. But the more he pitches, the more he dominates. The more he dominates, the more he starts to think, okay, maybe there's something to chasing this baseball dream. And so he makes what he says is the hardest decision he's ever had to make. And he leaves the academy for LSU. He becomes the first pick 1 year later. And now 2 years after he's flying fighter jets, he's pitching in the All-Star game. His 1-2 to Henderson is tapped in front of the plate, and the cadet hops off of the mound and fires it down there for out number 2.
Well, he's throwing fuel. He might have been burning fuel up in the air. He's throwing fuel. And again, the key is going to keep him healthy through the second half as the Pirates are close enough in a playoff spot. And man, it's just fun to watch him pitch and dominate.
11 starts in, still perfect at 6-0, coming off his best one yet. 7 no-hit innings against the Brewers last week. And his first one to Juan Soto draws the kind of swing that nobody draws against this generational hitter in Soto.
It's kind of like a split finger sinker, right? That ball just at 94, by the way, drops out. That's the one pitch that has the ability to upgrade. That's the one he can get on the side of the slider. It's going to be a weapon for him. But I would think that if that upgrade continues as normal pitchers do, he is going to be unhittable.
And he is part of a power couple, part of an LSU power couple that's becoming kind of a pop culture power couple. His girlfriend is LSU gymnast, social media star Livy Dunn. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
See, right here, selfishly, I want to see a four-seam fastball. I don't know that that's where he'll go, but I'd love to see a 2-2 mano-y-mano, go after one of the best in Soto. He hasn't seen it yet. I wonder if they'll go with that four-seam fastball here up in the zone.
We've seen 100 with that four-seam in this first inning. It's 2-2 on Soto. Skeens looking for a 1-2-3 all-star debut. It is straight up and out of play.
It was the four-seam fastball. He caught a little bit of the middle of the plate. Up above would have been tough. This is one of the best in the game at controlling the strike zone with his bat.
Yeah, one of the best in baseball against high heat. Both these guys, if he's able to get Judge to the plate. That's outside. I know you want to see you know what I want to see? What everybody wants to see? Soto's got to reach base so we can see Skeens against Judge. Come on, give the people what they want.
Well, Soto reaches base a lot.
He sure does. And they asked him yesterday, "Wow, we got to get Judge to the plate." He said, "Don't worry, I'll make sure he hits." And he wasn't lying. There's ball 4. And he points to Judge and says, "I got you, big fella. Here's the matchup that folks are dreaming of. Paul Skeens against Aaron Judge."
I think they crossed him up. That might have been a strike. But he crossed him up.
Baseball gods did it.
Look at this pitch. He throws it right there and just missed it. These two obviously do that a lot.
Chops the first one that he sees down to Bohm. He'll go the short way to finish off this inning. We got to see it, and Skeens made it a short visit. Libby.com. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your favorite team at MLBshop.com. On to the second inning. Tarek Skubal comes on to pitch. 2.41 ERA for the Detroit Tigers. Leads qualifiers in the American League. And his first one, Christian Yelich's bounce foul.
Well, this guy has electric stuff. You talk about a fastball that's boring and 99 miles an hour for the Tigers. They're trying to build and get ready to get back to the postseason on this guy.
Ball. Skubal's 27 years of age. He debuted in 2020. First few seasons was getting better and better, but just when he's hitting his stride, he injures his arm and he undergoes surgery. Instead of letting that derail him, though, he says, "I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get a little bit better every single day." So for the next year, doesn't just rehab his arm. He makes a whole bunch of subtle changes to his delivery and his training and his arsenal, and comes back last July. In the year since, he's been the best left-hander in baseball.
Yeah, look how hard it is to get a hit off his fastball. He had one clunker, which every pitcher's going to have. He's been dominant.
From a remote desert town, Kingman, Arizona. Another 1-2. Yelich shoots it up the middle. Behind the bag, there's Henderson. One gone in the second. You probably see the earpiece there on Tarek. We're trying to hook up with him between innings. Tarek, do you hear us by chance?
That's loud, guys. You can hear me, but that is loud.
All right, so I think we got him. So Alec Bohm comes to the plate here. Flying to deep center field. Judge is there, though. No big deal for out number 2.
Hey, what do I got to throw to miss a barrel? What do I got to throw to miss a barrel?
It's Teoscar Hernandez, the Derby champion of last night, up there to bat with 2 gone in the second inning.
This could be a quick inning because Teoscar loves to swing.
Tarek, did you watch the Derby last night?
Ball.
That'd be one you wouldn't mind missing when you got to go face this guy the next day, right?
Yeah.
Watch that display.
Yeah, he put on a nice display.
And to think this is kind of the other guy that the Dodgers went and got, right? Ohtani and Yamamoto, and they trade for Glasnow. Well, they signed Teoscar Hernandez to this 1-year deal, and he's been the guy in big spots for a lot of the year. And the Derby champion last night. It's under this one, and in right center field, Judge and Soto come together. It is Soto, and it's a 1-2-3 second for Skubal. Here in Texas, no score to the bottom of the second inning. And Max Fried, part of this great Brave staff, is on the pitch. Ball 1 to Yordan Alvarez.
Max Fried on the year. He's had a couple interesting starts to a season, but dominant ever since.
Ball.
Phillies are the team that Max's Braves are looking up to, that everybody's looking up to in the standings. Best record in baseball. They've got 8 of them here at the All-Star game. We've got 3 of them with us. We're trying to lock in those earpieces and those microphones. Guys, now that the PA music has died down, can you hear us?
I got you. I'm good.
You're looking around like, I think I got it. Well, we got you guys.
Oh.
Cracked in the air. Alec, that's you. You all right over there?
It's a high railing.
So we got 8 Philly All-Stars, including 3 starting infielders. How much fun are you guys having, Bryce?
It'd be funner if one of our starters wasn't on the beach right now.
Had to give him a hard time.
It's been a blast, man. It's been so much fun. I mean, we got such a great group of guys, man. We just have a blast together, so it's been good.
Here comes 3-1 pitch. Alvarez takes ball 4, headed down there towards Bryce. Bryce, I couldn't believe it's been a while since you played in one of these.
Yeah, a couple of years getting hurt and things like that, but really enjoying this one, man. Got kids now, enjoy it with them and my family and my wife and just everybody, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Leadoff man aboard, Jose Ramirez to the plate. Alec, it is your first All-Star game. How's the experience been for you?
It's been a blast. Just being able to do it with all the guys on the team, too. It's been a lot of fun.
Ramirez flies this ball to center field. Tasker Hernandez for the first out of the second. Trey, I hope you guys are being inclusive of Ketel Marte. Probably feels a little left out there. You know, you got these 3 Phillies around you. You got to share any inside jokes with Ketel or anything?
Ketel lost you, but I heard inside jokes, and I don't know if I want to be a part of that. Hey, you got me good. Yep.
Good chance, Alec, this ball's coming to you.
Yeah, I've seen Max get a ground ball to third before. I've hit a few of them.
It is Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
And he takes a strike. Bryce, what has it been? What's been the deal with the Phillies this year? I know a lot of good seasons recently, but it seems like something extra special this year.
No, I mean, I just think we got a great group of guys that all have the same plan to just win ball games at all costs, no matter. Oh,
up the middle.
Okay,
nice diving stop by Trey.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, let's go! How's that belt feel? That belt's brutal. That's why I don't wear these things. I need my little league belt back.
Well, it officially is the greatest play by a player who has worn the mic. Turner gets that, tosses it to second.
Get that little league belt, kid.
So 2 gone. Adley Rutschman's up. Talking about your belt. You don't like your belt or something, Trey?
This belt's too nice. I usually wear little league belts that are like elastic,
right.
so when I dive, I don't kill myself. So I'm trying to wear a show belt for the boys today.
This one's a little easier. Doesn't matter what kind of belt you got on, right? All right, so scoreless top of the second inning. Appreciate you guys joining us. We're back after a word from your local Fox station.
Karma.
Jurickson Profar leads off this top of the 3rd for the National League. Tanner Houck is on the pitch. The guy that has turned into the Red Sox ace delivers strike 1.
Yeah, throws a lot of off-speed, a lot of split fingers, and he's facing a guy who loves to hit off-speed pitches this year in Profar.
Profar takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, the Yankees spent much of the first half with the best record in the American League, of course, led by Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and both those superstars in the field right now. Both of them joining us as Profar hooks one down the line, and fair. Ricochets to Soto, who will hold him to a long single. Hey, nice play, Juan.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Aaron, I know you had to be dreaming big when you heard the trade went down this offseason. Almost 100 games in. What's it been like sharing the field with that guy to your left?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. I mean, playing with a guy like that, MVP caliber, it's just great. It's fun. I've been having a lot of fun here.
Hot shot that ricochets off Simeon to Henderson, who has no play. Everybody's safe.
Ball was smoked and still had a chance to get him out of second, but there was a reaction off the ball. Now you've got to get the carom, and they almost got him at second base. Really tough play by Simeon.
Well, it's 110 off of the bat. Yeah. It is ruled an error on Simeon.
That's ruled an error?
It's an error.
There is no way. And I'm a pitcher.
Downstairs to Otani. Wait, tough scoring, isn't it, guys?
There's no way.
Ridiculous.
Here's Otani. Walked his first time.
Plate. Didn't miss it. He hasn't missed many with the Dodgers.
And so 3-0 as Trey Turner climbs in. Juan, you look like you didn't have much doubt about where that one was headed. Turner with a looper into left field. It'll drop in for a base hit ahead of Kwan.
It was out of his bat.
Well, you see, he gets his foot down and then middle, and he knows it.
Incredible.
Unfortunately, the pitcher knows it.
We got you guys' reactions. You guys make a lot of guys do that, though. Those same reactions you had to Otani's home run. Watch out, Shohei. Now here's Harper. And Bryce hits one hard. Snared at second by Simeon to second one. Henderson to first. That's a double play. And so another chance there for Marcus Simeon, and he makes a nice play.
That was an outstanding double play. Ball was hit so hard. After Simeon had a bullet hit at him earlier in the inning, he makes that play look routine. Of course, this is where he plays all of his home games. Said he was comfortable before the game started.
Wipes the bases clean. 2 gone for Contreras, who chops the first pitch foul.
I got D.
No, come on, man.
You want me going in?
Yeah. Show your skills. Show me your skills, you know?
I got you. All right, I'm going in. You got D.
You guys talk a lot during regular season games out there.
Yeah, you have to. You know, just communicating, especially at a packed place like this. You know, Yankees, Red Sox game. You know, you got to be able to kind of know where we're going with, you know, pre-pitch, so we're not running into each other out here.
Can you get a word in with Verdugo out there usually?
Oh yeah, Doogie's right there with us, man. Doogie's always communicating. You know, we just give each other a look, and we kind of know what, you know, all three of us are doing.
Yeah. The only time I don't have to look up to look at you.
Seems like you guys have hit it off fast. I mean, it seems like you've been teammates for a decade.
He makes it easy when you're playing next to one of the best players in the game, and he makes it real easy.
We appreciate you guys' time. Best of luck in the second half. And best of luck rest of this All-Star game. Shohei Otani, of course, one of the stars of the show, coming in. Steps into the spotlight and hammers a home run to get the National League on the board first. How about Ellie De La Cruz going to get a chance to see later tonight? Marcus Simeon leads off this bottom of the third for the American League. Logan Webb is on the pitch. Hard to believe that this is his all-star debut because he has been the pillar of the Giants for a while. One of the top workhorses in baseball.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous sinker, changeup, and breaking ball, and he's going to rely on hitters trying to be aggressive, looking to pull and hit the ball on the ground. And the guy at the plate, he definitely is looking to pull, and he's did that a lot last year, and representing the home crowd. That's got to be the greatest feeling in the world to play an all-star game in your home city.
Shoots one the other way, and he's got a base hit to open this third. Marcus Simeon, really the tone setter of their turnaround the last couple of years. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
All-star debut, scoreless first inning, pretty uneventful. How did you think it went?
It went well. Yeah, didn't have a ton of pitches to show it off, but felt good, and got a 0, which is what matters.
Juan Soto had said he was going to make sure Aaron Judge got to the plate. What will you remember about those 2 at-bats?
It was cool to face off against them back-to-back. They were tough, for sure. Soto was a tough at-bat, and Judge, kind of went after him and got him to roll over. But it was cool to be able to face them, in the All-Star game, them being teammates and facing back-to-back.
Your emotions coming in, were you nervous, excited? How would you describe it?
A little bit of both. Obviously, you can't deny that there are 3 decks that are fully filled with people, but at the end of the day, it's just baseball.
Paul, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. John, your first time seeing him pitch in person. What'd you come away thinking?
Ball 4.
Well, I just know that for a young man to be in this spot and to not get outside of himself in his first ever appearance, that's a great sign, because it's not that easy to pitch in your first All-Star game, especially as a rookie. Man, it's going to be fun to watch him throughout the year.
First rookie to start the All-Star game in almost 30 years. Got to go back to Hideo Nomo in the last game played here in Arlington in 1995. Find the last rookie to start the All-Star game. It's a strike after the walk to Stephen Kwan. Gunnar Henderson takes it on the outside corner.
Well, Webb, no pun intended, is in a tough jam right now with this lineup turned over and first and second, nobody out. He has got to get the command of that breaking ball and that sinker, because it goes both ways, and he's a ground ball specialist that desperately needs one right now.
Facing one of the really bright emerging young stars in the American League here in Henderson. Chops one to first. Harper with a nice backhand stab. Runs to the bag to get the first out.
I'm going to tell you something. Harper doesn't get enough credit for one of the better outfielders in the game to become a first baseman because of the injury. That was not an easy play. He has been spectacular at first. And I don't know if we'll ever see him back in the outfield.
Well, it was supposed to initially just be temporary to get him back on the field coming off of Tommy John surgery, but decided this offseason to really lean into it, permanent at least for this year. And his teammates say that this spring he looked like a rookie trying to make the team, working at first. Juan Soto with a base hit into center field to get the AL on the board. Simeon is in. So is Kwan, and it's a 3-2 game.
Well, I don't know if there's a little confusion out in center field, but Juan Soto takes advantage of this ground ball up the middle and goes to second. It really should have just been a single, but watch him when he gets around first base, and this really just a throw-in, give-up kind of single that turned into a double.
But Soto taking the extra base, the All-Star game, getting in a scoring position for Judge, who takes a strike. Boy, it just seems like Juan Soto is made for New York, hadn't it?
Yeah. No, he's relishing the role, and we'll see how long he's been meant for New York.
Perfect personality for the spotlight, perfect player for what was ailing the Yankees. Two balls and a strikeout, Judge. Home Run Leaders is sponsored by Homes.com. Ohtani with 29. We saw him hit one earlier. Everybody chasing Judge, who is inspiring some conversations we're talking off at the top about potentially a triple crown hunt. Stephen Kwan is making that difficult with his average. But he's also maybe going to start another home run chase. The pace is not that far off of that 2022 MVP record-setting season. 3-2. Which is extra amazing when you consider that a month into the season, the question was, what is going on with Judge? Because he really struggled out of the gates. But as a testament to how crazy hot he's been since, number one in just about everything. Ground ball to third. Bohm's got it. So the numbers eerily similar. This is the end of 22 on the left. It's where he currently is on the right.
Yeah, look, everybody knew as soon as Soto got to the team, that was going to boost Aaron Judge's performance, just because the stress factor of having runners on base, and his RBIs are showing it, his homers are showing it.
David Fry's up there pinch hitting for Yordan Alvarez. Now Fry might win the award for biggest out-of-nowhere all-star. Cleveland got him as a player to be named later in a deal from Milwaukee for a kind of a little-known reliever. Not a deal anybody really looked at. Gets to the majors last year. Hits .230 off of the bench. But now at 28 years old, he's an all-star that not many people saw coming. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's from nearby Colleyville, Texas. Went to Grapevine High School. He was already planning on coming home here to Texas for the All-Star break, and he was going to host the other Cleveland All-Stars, but he got to party with them. Ball. 2-2.
Ball.
Full count.
3-2.
A couple Cleveland Guardians here. One of the big surprises in baseball this year. Fry's got a base hit to left field. Here comes Soto. Profar's throw is close but not in time, and the game is tied at 3. David Fry off of the bench to drive home Juan Soto.
Well, uncharacteristically here in this inning, Webb's caught too much of the plate and hasn't had command to get ahead of the hitters, and the hitters have taken advantage of it. And a rarity, really, in an all-star game to see one team score 3 and the next team come right back and score 3 to tie it up.
Yeah, in this inning alone, we've got more scoring than all of last year's game with a 3-2 final in Seattle. So Soto with a key swing, and then another big one from Fry. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady makes his highly anticipated NFL on Fox debut with Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. The season opener is Cowboys and Browns, September 8th, only on Fox. So here is Ramirez. This guy, he doesn't get enough credit as one of the top players in baseball.
He's amazing, and all he does is consistently be the heart and soul of that lineup for the Cleveland Guardians, and always in the MVP talk, and this year no different.
Kid that everybody thought was too small, too unathletic. He's turned into a 6-time All-Star, one of the top players in the American League.
Ball.
Total package too, right? He hits for power, makes contact. He's got that knack for driving in runs. One of the all-time Cleveland greats. How about those Guardians, by the way? The first year under Stephen Vogt.
They've done an incredible job. I think a lot of people are surprised by the amount of wins, how they've been, but they have been deadly when they take the lead after the 6th inning. They're undefeated when they go into the 9th, so their bullpen is a strength.
Timeout.
Now, the second half schedule will be a little bit tougher for them, so they'll be playing a lot of teams that are in kind of the same boat they are. So it'll be a nice challenge for the Cleveland Guardians, but they have done everything you have to do in the first half to put themselves in a nice position.
Best record in the AL. Franchise record for wins going into the All-Star break at 58. You mentioned the back end of that bullpen. The National League hopes that it doesn't trail going into the 9th inning tonight. There's a good chance you're going to see their closer in Emmanuel Clase. He's closed out an All-Star game before. That's a swing and a miss from Ramirez, and that does it for the American League here in the 3rd. Juan Soto gets the AL on the board with a 2-run single. Scores the tying run when Fry hits a single of his own.
Broke.
Tied at 3 to the 4th. We get to listen in to Christian Yelich as he settles in against Garrett Crochet.
We good?
Tough draw for him.
2 tough, hard-throwing left-handers he had to face in the All-Star game, and this guy can run it up there.
be very sought after. Don't know if the White Sox are going to do anything with Crochet. Of course, he's got an innings issue. He hasn't thrown that many innings in his career, but he's been a starter the first half and dominant.
Almost hit that one.
Here's Christian's view of the lefty Crochet. Crochet was a first-round pick a couple years ago out of Tennessee. You mentioned the shoulder issue that he had. He missed much of last season. Didn't make a start in the majors until opening day this year, but has been dominant in his first year as a starter. 2-2 on Yelich.
Well, we talked about the Guardians, but how about the Brewers? And Christian's been a big part of that. The Brewers leading their division at the All-Star break.
Off the end of the bat left side, picked up by Ramirez and Yelich. The first down of the fourth.
You would.
It really has not mattered who's been the manager, who's been the ace. Look, Craig Counsell goes to the Cubs. They trade Corbin Burns. And they just keep on winning. And it's really been wire to wire for the Brewers this year. For third division title.
It wasn't working
the last
the whole
4
time.
seasons. One gone in this fourth. Here's Alec Bohm. It's all come together this season for Bohm, the former first-round pick. A lot of hype that comes with that. He had his struggles, as every young player does, but he's come out on the other side, and he's fulfilling all that hype. Shoots one the other way. That's through for a base hit. Well, tonight's telecast is sponsored by Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, only in theaters September 6th. It was 25 years ago, one of the most special All-Star games of all time. The baseball greats of the past. Team of the century. Joined by all the current All-Stars and, of course, Ted Williams that day. Hernandez with one away takes a ball. And all the guys that were involved in that, no matter how many All-Star games they played in, no matter how many rings they have, they all talk about that day as being right near the top of the list of the most special of their memories.
I remember watching that game and just all the emotion and greatness on that field. I think that was Pedro who struck out the side.
Yeah.
In his home ballpark.
So Pedro, one of the legends that was at the game was Hank Aaron. Pedro got to meet Hank right before the game, and Hank said to him, "I can't wait to watch you pitch." And Pedro said, "Shoot, Hammered Hank is here to watch me pitch," and so he's even extra fueled. And he goes out there, and to your point, Larkin, Walker, Sosa, McGuire strikes out in succession. As Teoscar Hernandez goes down on a high fastball, and then there was an error. Matt Williams reached on an error. Bagwell comes up and he strikes him out. One of the greatest pitching performances in recent memory at the Midsummer Classic. He won the MVP for it. But here's one of the great stories in baseball this year. Jurickson Profar, a long-time top prospect, but long ago top prospect, has reached the All-Star game for the first time at the age of 31.
He's been a big part of San Diego in a nice position currently in the playoffs in a jam-packed National League playoff picture. It's got to be a record. The most teams within 4 games. The National League is going to have a wire-to-wire kind of wild card race, if you will, in the second half.
There's only 2 teams that aren't within 3.5 games of a playoff spot. 1-1 to Profar is taken high. That, of course, is going to make for a very interesting trade deadline, because nobody wants to fully commit either way, not knowing what they are. Two and two. A dose of baseball beauty here, and that Profar's first trip to the All-Star game comes right across the street from where he made his big league debut. He was 19 years old when he got to the majors with the Texas Rangers. Tears his shoulder, though, the next year, sends him on this long journey. Goes from Texas to Oakland to San Diego for a few years. He was a key part of both their playoff teams, but then he goes to the Rockies last year. Struggles mightily. The Rockies, who were a last-place team, released him. Padres pick him back up, finishes great with the Padres, and then goes unsigned for a lot of this offseason, so they bring him back on a small contract. And he's been one of the top players in the National League. On this 2-2 from Crochet, Profar chops one left side. On a short hop, Henderson with a heck of a play. Gunnar Henderson flashing the leather over there at short. Chicago Cubs on to face the bottom of the American League lineup. That's ball one on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And this guy's made quite a first impression.
He's been unbelievable and is single-handedly keeping the Cubs afloat. I mean, this debut, it couldn't do and ask any more from the left-hander. He has the ability to keep the ball down. One of those pitches that the hitter thinks, oh, it's going to keep going down, and holds it plain, and he throws a lot of them. A lot of his strikeouts that are looking are down, but he also has an unhittable fastball up. Hitter's only hitting 154 against that.
Vlad Jr.'s look, and there is that high fastball, swing and a miss, and loses his bat. It's 1-2. Discard.
So much talk really about the second half is going to be with the Blue Jays and maybe even Guerrero Jr. They have had so much expected. Offensively, they haven't clicked. The team hasn't gotten to the positions they want to get. And I wonder what's going to happen with the Toronto Blue Jays in the second half.
Free agent after next season. Same with Bo Bichette. Bichette not having his usual season, but the Blue Jays, one way or the other, could really shift what the market looks like, depending on what route they go. Bouncing ball towards the middle. There's Marte with a backhand stab. Get Guerrero. Ken Rosenthal, you're the guy with the answers this time of year. What do you got on the Blue Jays?
The question is whether they have the audacity to trade Guerrero and or Bichette. Two guys, as you said, Joe, who are under club control through next season. If they do that, they're essentially signaling that what they've tried to do the last several years has been a failure. And the other option, of course, is to bring back both those guys whom they have not signed to extensions for one more year and go for it again.
Adley Rutschman fouls off Imanaga's first pitch. No team on the other side of the spectrum going into the trade deadline, the Baltimore Orioles, and here is the first in that franchise-changing wave of young players they've brought up the last few years, and those lean years that, you know, look, it's one thing to have the high draft picks, but it's another thing to nail it time and again, and they have loaded up. And one of the exciting young teams in baseball.
Yeah, they sure are. They unfortunately had some blows to their pitching staff, and that is really what's kept them from taking off to the next level, because they're core young players, position players already established.
Yeah, Rutschman's been the face of the Orioles probably even before he got to Baltimore, right? Because the time he was drafted first in 2019, he was the face of hope as they were talking about the future, face of a better future for the Orioles. And now one of the faces of their rebirth there. Back to the postseason last year, and they finish off the first half in first place. Down the right field line, Christian Yelich will watch this one bounce.
Yeah, it's been kind of a Yankees on a tear, then they went on a slide, then the Orioles caught them and went on a nice run, then they went on a slide. So it's right there kind of for the making of a great divisional race. We haven't seen too many great divisional races short of the Dodgers and San Francisco a few years ago, where it came down to the wire. Had a weird one that the Rangers, as we get a strikeout, would not like to talk about last year.
Yeah.
Come down to the wire in a weird trade, kind of like You can't make this up, what they went through. And actually what they went through propelled them to go on to win the World Series.
Yeah, losing the division in the final days, having to play in the wild card round in Seattle. We saw Logan Gilbert right there. Bruce Bochy relayed flying over Texas on their way down to St. Pete to have to play in the wild card round, and cursing under his breath, maybe not so quietly. Where they talked about that trip kind of galvanizing them and helping lead to their World Championship.
Yeah,
Head man there, Chris Young.
It ticked him off, and one of the words he used. And they're still kind of in the mix. They've been beat up with injuries. They get some guys back in the second half. We haven't had a defending champ in a while. So look for the Rangers to make a nice move in the second half with the experience they went through last year.
And then there's the Astros, right?
Yeah.
They're 12-24 in early May, but the best record in baseball the last couple months, and within a game of the Mariners in the division.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what most people thought was going to happen. There's no way you can keep the Astros at the pace they were going the first 36.
Ball.
Simeon, who singled and scored his first time up on this 2-2 from Imanaga, takes low, and he's worked it full. Now, these Rangers lost 102 games in 2021, and then that offseason span of 24 hours, they signed Simeon, they signed Seager, you just saw getting ready down in that AL dugout. A couple years later, their first World Championship. The payoff. Hooked into left field. Profile moves over and makes a running grab to finish off a 1-2-3-4 for Imanaga. Top of the order coming up for the National League. That means Shohei Ohtani. Top of the fifth inning in a tie game. Top of the order for the National League, and Ketel Marte lofts Mason Miller's first pitch to left field. That deep and pulled in out there by Riley Green. Full line shift for the AL. Green makes the grab. Here comes Shohei Ohtani, who's got the biggest swing of this game. A 3-run home run in the third inning, and we see it, John, on StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
Yeah, you could see right away he felt it, he knew it, and there's the stats to prove it. 3-run homer.
This is a treat of a matchup right here. A lot of hype around Paul Skeens. Mason Miller, though, 25-year-old, hardest thrower in the big leagues, averages 101.
Yeah, he's got a great fastball and changeup combination, and the highest swing and miss percentage of anybody in Major League Baseball.
He's thrown the single fastest pitch this year, touch 103.7. Debuted last season as a starter, but he missed a lot of the year with an elbow sprain, so he comes back this year. First year as their closer, and he's been dominant. 1-2 to Ohtani to get ahead 1-2. You're getting a little extra charged up here, facing Ohtani. And strikes him out. Boy, you got 102 with the fastball, and then you break that off. Good luck.
It's just an easy velocity and easy spin that he has on his secondary pitches. And of course, the Oakland A's, they want to finish games with him on the mound.
A lot of teams have called the A's and said, hey, you know, you're not at a stage where you're going to be winning a ton of games. Do you really need a closer? Would you consider trading him? And sure, you give us your farm. I mean, this guy's got a full career worth of control. Yeah, it would take a ton. It's 1-0 to Trey Turner. Is caught on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, a few years ago, Mason was pitching at a Division III school with a 7 ERA. His fastball was in the 80s at that point. He's wondering, too, why he's always tired, why he's always losing weight at that point, and then he finds out that he's a type 1 diabetic. And that's also the moment that he starts his march to the big leagues, because very quickly he learns to manage the disease, adds weight, starts throwing hard, transfers to a Division I program, and gets drafted. And now here he is as not just an all-star, but an inspiration, proudly an inspiration to young kids who deal with the disease. You mentioned the Line change, whole new defense for the AL. Wow, 103 by the knuckles of Turner, and the count is full.
3-2.
Trey's 1 for 2 in this game. Waits on this 3-2 pitch.
Oh, it'd be dirty pool if he threw a slider right here to Trey on a 3-2 count. He challenged him there with the fastball, but I believe swing over the top of it.
Here it comes. It is a slider to the corner to get him looking. Mason Miller with a 1-2-3 inning against the top of the National League lineup in his All-Star debut. We are halfway home in Texas in a tie ball game. Hunter Green, the former prep phenom, was the second overall pick in 2017 at a Sherman Oaks Notre Dame in Los Angeles. Makes it to the majors at the age of 22. And here in his third season, John, it's all kind of started to come together for him.
Yeah, of course, recovering from Tommy John. And he was the first going to be two-way superstar. If you think about what he was doing when he got drafted, the Reds kind of stopped him from hitting and playing shortstop and concentrated on pitching. And here he is.
Green on green matchup right here. Riley Green to the Detroit Tigers takes a ball. Green came on defensively for Stephen Kwan, making his own All-Star debut. And sends this ball in the air to center field. Hernandez, shy of the track, puts it away for the first out of the fifth. Let's go down to the field. Tom Verducci.
Thanks. With Mason Miller, your path to the All-Star game, very unique, Mason. Was there a time on the mound where you allowed yourself to soak in the moment?
The whole time, yeah. Hard to not enjoy that. You know, with this crowd and these players here, yeah, this is what you dream of.
Tell me about specifically the matchup against Shohei Ohtani, leading to that nasty slider.
Yeah, no, I wasn't giving him one up, that's for sure. I think I got the second strike. I think that might have been down a little bit, but got that and then got to the back foot slider. So,
congratulations. Thank you, Mason.
Thank you.
You got the heat of Skeens in the first inning, then Mason Miller throwing heat of his own there. And Corey Seager, you heard the great hand, the Texas Ranger World Series MVPs up there pinch hitting for Gunnar Henderson. And ahead of Green, 2-1. All-Star for the fifth time. That includes all 3 years he's been in Texas. First Texas position player that's gone to 3 consecutive All-Star games since Josh Hamilton. 2-2 on Seager.
I mean, this guy's last year was so incredible. He set the all-time record for walks in a postseason, which is about 100-1 based on the fact that he loves to swing. Yeah. And he gets going after a little bit of a slump. He's been a great hitting shortstop.
Turns on this ball, sends it to the moon down the line, but foul.
Think about the shortstops that are in the American League and the 2 young ones. It'd be a great discussion to have if you're building your team around a shortstop.
This is what happened. Right center field. Hernandez going back. Corey Seager just misses it. Wow. Gave it a ride to the 410 sign in right center field, and it dies in the glove of Teoscar Hernandez.
That one off the bat looks scary for a pitcher, and you see Green looking up, hoping that he sees the front jersey of Hernandez and not the back of his jersey.
So 2 flyouts to center field.
But you think about, you got Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh yeah,
and you got Henderson. It's a great discussion on who you would pick first. Both bring dynamics that, sure, we can quantify statistics and all that, but man, you think about following that man's shoes in Baltimore. Left-handed swinging shortstop with power, and a right-handed hitting shortstop with power and speed.
Anthony Santander in his All-Star debut rips a base hit into right field. And you can't help but smile at the beauty of those Cal Ripken Jr. comparisons. It's uncanny. Both second-rounders, both Rookie of the Year 4 years after that. And Gunnar would love if the comparison would continue, because in Cal's second season, he won the MVP, and the Orioles won the World Series.
Yeah, that would That would follow the lines of a dream year. Only a couple players on each team are going to have the dream year. And the dream year is to get introduced 5 different times in the year. Opening day, here in the All-Star game. And then what? 3 rounds of the postseason. So that 5th one is when 2 teams represent the World Series.
Here's a high fly ball off of the bat of Jarren Duran. That one will leave the yard and give the American League its first lead of the night. Boy, this dream season for Jarren Duran continues here with a home run in the All-Star game.
A man that has power and speed, a lot of speed. The Boston Red Sox got really athletic with their lineup. It's why they're succeeding, and he's going to be a huge part of the success in the second half. When he gets on base, look out.
Five unanswered for the AL, and a strike on David Fry. We were talking about the streakiness lately of the Orioles and the Yankees. We didn't even get to talk about the Red Sox, but they were 500 in early June. They have the best record in baseball over the last month at 18-7, and they're just kind of inching forward quietly in the shadows in that division, now 4.5 back. Off of the bat of Fry, goes straight up on the left side of the infield. It will be Trey Turner to finish off the 5th. The American League gets a home run from Jarren Duran. He's had an historically electric first half, combination of power and speed and average, and he shows it off at the All-Star game. It's 5-3 AL as we head to the 6th. Tonight at Globe Life Field, and in unison with fans and supporters watching at home, we deliver a powerful message as we join our partners, Stand Up to Cancer and MasterCard, in reaffirming a commitment to the fight against cancer. Major League Baseball, together with our fans, players, coaches, and umpires, are united in our determination to defeat this disease for our friends, our families, and our communities. We all stand together. $70 million to Stand Up to Cancer since 2010. Let's go to Kevin Burkhardt, who's with CC Sabathia, for more on what MasterCard is doing in the fight against cancer.
Joe, thanks so much. CC, I know you've been affected by cancer personally. When you look around this stadium tonight, seeing everyone standing up to cancer, what does that mean to you?
It's special. You know, like you said, I've, you know, it's something I've dealt with my family, and to see everybody here supporting this great cause, it feels good.
What are people around the world doing right now to raise more awareness and try to help defeat this disease?
I feel like this year went so much further than just a moment out on the field. You know, so many people sharing their stories online and on social media. I feel like it's, you know, helping getting the story out.
CC, MasterCard is sponsoring a drone show in New York City and honoring those that are in the fight against cancer right now. What does that mean to you?
It means so much, and I'm excited to see my dad's name in lights, so I'm excited for the drone show.
CC, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
There we go. So well done in the moment here at Arlington and standing up to cancer around the world. More of the All-Star game to come here from Texas as we will take you to the 6th inning when we return on Fox.
Riding our way into the 6th inning here in Arlington, Texas. 5-3. The American League has scored 5 unanswered since Ohtani's home run. Karen Durant's home run the difference in this game. And Cole Reagans comes on to pitch. Last time Cole Reagans pitched here was as a Ranger reliever with a 6 ERA. He gets traded to the Royals in the Aroldis Chapman deal last summer and makes his return to Texas as an all-star starter with a 2.96 ERA in his year in Kansas City. Delivers ball 1 to Bryce Harper.
Well, another lefty with a good arm. Curveball slider. He's got the cutter.
Ball.
And that's the pitch he wants to throw against left-handers.
Got a all Kansas City battery here. All Kansas City going up the middle there to short. Bobby Witt Jr. Harper on 2-0, swings at this one, launches it in the air to left center field. Durant slides over to the track in front of the wall with enough room. Just missed it for the first out of the 6th. On Saturday, we'll be back with Baseball Night in America on Fox, and got a good one for you. The Red Hot Red Sox take on Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers, or the Diamondbacks and the Cubs, all starting at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Speaking of the Dodgers, here's their catcher, Will Smith, who's had his 2nd consecutive All-Star games. Quietly goes about his business, overshadowed by those former MVPs in LA, but as steady as they come. One of the top catchers in baseball right here.
Well, Cole Reagans looks like another Cole to me.
Who's that?
Cole Hamels.
Huh.
Got a little bit of the similarities in his windup. Kind of a sidestep and over the top comes through. Cole Hamels, of course, with the Phillies for most of his career. The Kansas City Royals did a lot in the offseason that went under the wire radar, and they are paying off as they're in the hunt in the postseason.
Royals have 52 wins this season. They had 56 all of last year. Ball 2-2 on Smith. That's really the surprise division. If you've got to look at one division where there's the biggest surprises. Guardians, Twins, Royals all above 500. All right in the hunt. Smith rolls one up the middle. Won't be an easy play from shallow center field. Which throw is offline. It was going to be tough anyways. And Smith is on with one away in the 6th. That's ruled a base hit.
Just to let you know that I put down that, remember we talked about that play earlier that was ruled an error?
Yeah.
That's been changed to a base hit.
That was Ketel Marte back in the 3rd, wrote it into existence. So that is instead of an error on Marcus Semien. Base hit for Marte back in the 3rd inning. From one Dodger to another, here's Freddie Freeman. Eight-time All-Star, including all 3 years he's been in Los Angeles. One of the best hitters of this generation, a model of consistency, model of reliability. Bounces this one to first. Josh Naylor goes down to second for one. Whips this one over to first, but off of the bag was Naylor. Oh, he got a little twisted up with his feet there, and Freddie's saying, Josh, what happened?
Okay, are you okay?
Oh.
Hey, we got a replay review in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I don't know if Freddie got the corner of the bag. He steps on his foot right here on the heel, which you hope doesn't cause any problems, but did he get the bag at all?
I think he did, but I think he pushed Josh's foot onto the bag first.
So what's your call? Out. A lot of the players are starting to lean that way. Does that go as a tie, though? Tie goes to the runner.
A couple guys in the first baseman fraternity down there talking through the play. Let's see from James Hoy.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. The American League will retain their challenge.
But he pushed his foot to the bag, and it's a double play. Middle section, a 5-3 ball game. Like never before with Google Cloud AI. That is the only inside the park home run in All-Star game history off of the bat of Ichiro in 2007. Hit it off. Rangers GM Chris Young, by the way. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's philanthropic contributions to key causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. Go to MLBtogether.com to learn more. Isak Paredes grounds the first one that he sees from Christopher Sanchez for the first out of the 6th. And his Phillies team, John, 8 All-Stars, including a record 5 pitchers. This is the biggest surprise of that bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can understand why the Philadelphia Phillies have been dominant in the first half. They represented with all those players and gotten through some of their injuries.
Josh Naylor, 2 pitches and 2 outs for Sanchez. Gonna make it last a little longer, this All-Star thing. Sanchez saying it's easy. Again, all kinds of changes. Torlavello said that he was stressed out, had some anxiety about making sure he got everybody into the game. There are the changes that he's made. Ellie De La Cruz, by the way, playing third base, which is a spot that he played a decent amount his first year.
2 pitches.
2 pitches. El Bencho. Torlavello's coming out. He's at 3 batter minimum, Skip. He's going to make a change here. So Christopher Sanchez, a 27-year-old who's had the breakout season, player of the month in June, has a perfect July here. 2 pitches, 2 outs, and Reynaldo Lopez comes out. This kind of feels like the season of surprise all-stars. Reynaldo Lopez delivers a strike to Salvador Perez. This guy here in Lopez signs with the Braves, has to win a spot in the rotation this spring. 1.61 ERA, 1.88 ERA.
That's a ball.
It's among the leaders in the National League in his first season in Atlanta.
Yeah, these 2 guys in this inning are the biggest reasons why both teams have flourished. For the Braves, they've been staying alive with his arm and Chris Sale. So great moment for him. Gets to pitch as a starter, coming into this game as a reliever, but carrying the freight for the Atlanta Braves.
Somebody can tell Chris we have that covered for him. We're getting this on video. It's a strikeout to Salvador Perez. How about Reynaldo Lopez coming in, making quick work. Back after a word from your local Fox station.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
We welcome you back to the 2024 MLB All-Star Game on Fox, presented by MasterCard. 5-3 American League in front. To the late innings we go. On to pitch, Seth Lugo. The Kansas City Royals having an excellent season, and he's on to face the eye-popping talent, the all-star debut of Ellie De La Cruz. 22-year-old Cincinnati Red has taken the game by storm the last year.
Yeah, the only thing in his game, he's got to cut down the strikeouts, because when he gets on base, he steals them, and he steals them at an incredible rate. And that kind of swing right there. He's got power and he's got the speed. I think for Cincinnati, they're so close to clicking. They've got a rotation that can pitch in that ballpark. It's a hitter's ballpark. And offensively on the base pass, they create all kinds of havoc for the opposing players. They've led baseball last year in stolen bases. I think they're leading it again this year. but it hasn't translated to enough wins to be in the postseason yet.
And there's 2-1 from Lugo. It's grounded foul. Ellie's got 46 of them himself. That's more than a handful of teams have. Yeah, more than 5 teams. 46 stolen bases. Jetpack speed for this guy. On a 2-2 from Lugo. He shoots one into center field. And it'll get down, and we get to see De La Cruz on the bases. He throws on the brakes as Jackson Merrill fires, or as Jared Duran fires that ball back in. And he's got the Reds fans fired up. He's got baseball fans fired up with him on base. MLB app is your place for live baseball. Real-time highlights, pitch-by-pitch updates, faster than ever. You can get personalized highlight reels based on players you follow every day. Download the MLB app today. How many pitches before he goes?
I mean, he's got to show off his wheels, doesn't he?
Yeah. He is the self-professed fastest man in the world. You can't call yourself that, get on base at the All-Star game, and not show it. Come on, Ellie. And with those shoes, no less, put him to work. Merrill's at the plate.
Ball.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's another impressive youngster right here. Keeps on doing what you're not supposed to be able to. Going straight from Double-A to the big leagues. Moving from shortstop to center field. And now the youngest All-Star in a decade at 21. He lines the ball the other way, that hangs up for Riley Green to make a nice play on.
Locking in, sliding on the turf.
Here's Brian Reynolds, who's an All-Star for the 2nd time. Started in center field for the National League in 2021. And he's got an opposite field base hit. Reynolds doesn't wait around. None of these hitters are. Very aggressive against Lugo. And now a quick word from Capital One.
There's no crying in baseball or with the Capital One Venture Card because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. Let's play ball.
They're starting to see a lot of these guys get their first at-bats of the game, and in a lot of cases, their first All-Star at-bat of their careers. Ryan McMahon, well-rounded Colorado Rocky in his 8th year, All-Star for the first time.
Has power, and I'm sure he's looking for a pitch to launch to give the National League the lead again. They were up 3-0.
29 years old, Gold Glove finalist 3 consecutive years for a guy who would tell you he was not anywhere close to a good defender coming up through the minors. Really made himself into that guy. Knocked down there by Perez. Mentioned the power. He's headed for a 4th consecutive 20 home run season. Career best offensive numbers across the board for McMahon. Speed on the bases. De La Cruz at second. Reynolds at first. The tying run. The 1-2 pitch. Got him with a high fastball.
Good fastball up. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of balls that he spins, but he gets the fastball above the barrel. And this guy at the plate has single-handedly kept the Braves offense afloat. What a year he's had already in the first half.
Marcell Ozuna leading the National League with 77 runs batted in. And in the span of a year, he goes from looking like his days with the Braves might be finished to, like you said, no question, he's been the Braves offensive MVP, leading the league in runs batted in, second only to Ohtani in home runs. Brian Snitker says that even at the low points last year, he was the guy with the biggest smile on his face, coming out to start the handshake lines after wins, even when he wasn't playing. So that clubhouse has been thrilled watching him have the season he's had. Deep in the hole, Bobby Witt Jr. shows off a cannon to finish off the top of the 7th. game, 5-3 to the bottom of the 7th. Big Poppy's in the house. Poppy in La Casa. Hello, Poppy.
Guys, I'm with my man Greeny right here. Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah, this is a lot of fun, you know? This is awesome.
Are you going deep, Nesabat?
I'm going to try.
Come on, man. Do it like Poppy.
I'm definitely going to be like you.
Let's go. Let's go to Butch, man. Let's go to my man, Butch. Butch, where are you, man? Right here. What's going on?
Oh, man.
Having fun like always, ain't you?
Hey, it doesn't get better than this, does it? Watching best players in the world go at it. No, it's exciting. Crowds into it. A good ball game.
That's right. Hey, you know what? I still got a couple of hits on me. You need me to DH?
Yeah, I do, man. I think back in Japan how you carried us. Thanks for putting us on your back then.
Let me go in the dugout. This is my guy right here. Watching this kid right here. Where you at? Don't run. Look at this guy right here. Hey, what you got, Nesabat?
Just going to see the ball, hit the ball.
Go to the moon, man. You don't have to see the ball. Just swing at it. Oh, look at what I got right here. Look at what I got right here. Man, you got me jumping over there. Socks! It's not apple socks. That's what I told the guy. How you feeling?
Feel good.
Having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun.
Hey, you know what? I was talking to the Yankee guys over there on the other side, and when you went to the moon, I started screaming, it's not apple socks, it's my boy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, good seeing you. Keep having fun, man. Keep having fun, kid. What's going on? Where you at? Where's my next victim? Right here. Let me. Right here. Look at who I got right here.
There he is.
Look at who I got right here.
Yeah.
This kid right here got so much power. I was expecting you to go deep today. You got another one on you?
I ain't got another bat today, but if I did.
You done today?
Yeah, I'm done today, but if I did, I'll try to be like you and hit one out.
Can you do me a favor?
What you got?
Can you take it easy on my Red Sox?
I don't know if I can do that, Big Poppy.
Be the Yankee where you are.
All right, yeah.
Come on, big guy right here. Come here, big dog. What's going on, man? What's going on?
I'm good. How you doing?
All good, baby. You having fun?
Always, you know.
How good is this right here?
It's awesome. A great experience, especially with the rest of the guards. It's
Keep on having fun.
I will.
All right. Where's my dog Blatty right here? Míralo aquí, right here. Míralo aquí.
¿Qué lo que?
Tranquilo. ¿Cómo estamos?
Estamos bien, tú sabes cómo es.
¿Te vas para la calle hoy?
No, ya salí ya.
¿Ya saliste ya?
Sí, no, eso de Durán nos llevamos el MVP, tú sabes.
Okay, you ready to continue kicking the Yankees?
Claro, todo el tiempo.
He's ready, guy. Back to you, Joe.
All right, Poppy. Back-to-back Ks for Robert Suarez of Westburg and Green as Poppy makes his tour through that dugout. Robert Suarez out there making his all-star debut. Filthy stuff right here, Johnny. Beyond filthy. You're going to get pulled after 2 outs, too. Torrey just ruthless. Making sure that he gets everybody in. And honestly, he authentically was concerned. I got to get all my guys in. And he's doing everything he can to make sure they all get to experience the All-Star game. MLB Game Live and watch the minor leagues, MLB Big Inning, and available pre and post games. No blackouts. Go to MLB.com/@bat for details. New pitcher for the National League is the left-hander Matt Strahm, another Philadelphia Philly. Pours in a strike on Bobby Witt Jr.
And believe it or not, he has a better success against right-handed batters than he does left-handed, and by a significant amount of 100 points.
Quickly ahead of 0-2. Guy had started his journey in North Dakota. Matt Strahm. West Fargo High School. He's throwing in the 70s. He said he was probably like their 3rd best pitcher there at West Fargo High, but he wants to keep pitching, so he goes to a tiny junior college in Kansas. Gets drafted in the 21st round. And goes from Kansas City to San Diego to Boston to Philadelphia. He's 32 years old now. He's in his 9th season. And he's got a 1.49 ERA, and he's gone from North Dakota, 3rd best pitcher at West Fargo High, to the All-Star game. Home with another 0-2 to Bobby Witt. Hooks one down the line, foul. Bobby Witt's got the opposite story. This is the promise guy right here coming up. Top young player in baseball every step of the way. 2nd pick of the draft in 2019, and now the face of the Kansas City turnaround. Down on fastball here, strike 3. That does it for the 7th inning. Couple pitchers combined to strike out the side.
senior name and juniors who dare to dream big.
El béisbol es otra cosa.
Well, the National League struck first on an Ohtani home run in the third inning, but 5 in a row for the AL, trying to get their 10th win in the last 11 All-Star games. And a big hand for this guy, Kirby Yates, in his first season in Texas has been dynamite. His first pitch to C.J. Abrams, by him for a strike.
Fastballs and split fingers is what he provides. And don't look now, but the Washington Nationals are not looking too bad with that trade they made with the Padres.
Yeah, they got Abrams and the Juan Soto deal a couple years ago. They got a lot of good pieces in that deal. James Wood, who's made a great debut, he came over in that trade. So did Mackenzie Gore. Abrams is 23 years of age in his third season, having his breakout season. Down quickly, though, as Yates strikes him out with that career-changing splitter of his. And now a quick word from Apple.
Want some MLB trivia? Just ask Siri, what's the longest home run in MLB history?
This is Elliot Ramos. Years as a top prospect for the Giants, but got his chance, really struggled. So he starts this season in AAA, really in a career free fall at that point, right off of the radar. But the Giants in a one-week span put 7 players on the injured list a couple months ago, so Ramos gets another shot. And in the span of 2 months, he's gone from a free fall to their best hitter and an all-star.
I know you got
really been a season saver for him. He took over center field for Jung-Hoo Lee, who's their big signing from Korea. And Ramos, after hitting 158 and a couple chances in the big leagues, above 300 for a lot of the year, above 900 OPS. And gives the Giants their first homegrown all-star outfielder in almost 40 years. You have to go back to Chili Davis in 1986. One-two from Yates. Back-to-back Ks for Kirby Yates. Well, in a special moment before tonight's game, Budweiser presented 14 checks toward educational scholarships to these Folds of Honor representatives. Since 2007, Folds of Honor has provided families of fallen or disabled U.S. service members and families of first responders with life-changing scholarships. 2 up and 2 down in this 8th inning. That's a ball outside on Will Smith. Singled his first time. Shohei Ohtani, who got the win as a pitcher a couple years ago, has homered in this All-Star game, something Babe Ruth never did. Those 2 categories in the Midsummer Classic. Difference, though, is Jarren Duran's 2-run home run in the 5th inning. 5 in a row for the American League. Duran due up in this inning. Anthony Santander leads off, swings and misses at Tanner Scott's first pitch.
A lot of hitters are swinging and missing at that pitch. 4-seam fastball has only given up 7 hits on the year. An under 100 batting average against that pitch.
One of the guys that a lot of contenders are going to be calling about. He's got a week shy of his 30th birthday. Somebody that Skip Schumacher has described as our Josh Hader down there in Miami, dominating the back end of that bullpen. Former teammate of the guy at the plate in Santander. Really kind of a nondescript time in Baltimore for him. But he comes to Miami, struggles in his first year, really good last year, another level here in 2024 for Scott. This is 1-2. He's tapped foul. And Santander singled and scored his first time. This is one of the survivors in Baltimore. We talk about the wave of young talent that's come up. Santander was back there when they were terrible. In his 8th season now, longest tenured Oriole. He survived all that to be a huge part of what they're doing now. He's 3rd in the league in home runs. One of the heartbeats of that clubhouse, one of the big leaders. After years of trying to stay healthy enough to stick, trying to continue to prove himself, hearing trade rumors. Popped into shallow right center field. Routine play for Ramos. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, we're talking about the Babe in the All-Star game. Didn't pitch in an All-Star game, but in the very first one, fittingly, he hit a home run for the American League. 1933 at Comiskey Park in Chicago. And a 4-2 American League win. Did that as a 38-year-old. It's Jarren Duran, who may be in position to win MVP in this game with his tie-breaking home run.
Everything about the All-Star game is timing, and when you're in a spot like Jarren Duran was and you deliver, probably if they win, he will win the MVP.
Everything in the All-Star game is timing. Spoken like a guy who gave up 2 runs in his All-Star career and took 2 L's.
Yeah, I'm a living example of timing. 2 runs and 2 losses. Nolan Ryan was on the mound. I'm convinced he could throw out the first pitch still today if he wanted to, but in my first All-Star game, he was the oldest pitcher to ever get the win, and I was the youngest pitcher ever to get the loss.
Wow.
I don't know if that still holds true as far as the youngest, but I'll never forget it, obviously.
Yeah.
That'll be something that I'll always remember.
On the ground to second, Ryan McMahon. 2 gone in the 8th. Had to be so. I mean, I would think any player that comes for their first couple has to be so wide-eyed, looking around at all the guys in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I was the only representative too, so I was really a fish on the water for Atlanta.
David Bell making the visit, the honorary manager for the National League, heads out there and going to take it from Scott. Difference in this game at this point. Jarren Duran, who Alex Cora says has figured out. Good news is that you're our closer if we get a lead into the 9th inning, but the bad news is that's not a guarantee, and you might be left with a situation where you're not going to get to pitch if that's the role. That's a ball on Willie Castro. Hoffman said to him without hesitation, "Oh, we'll win in this game." But with the National League down, Torrey makes sure that he can still get Hoffman in. He comes on here with 2 gone in the 8th. National League best 1.12 ERA for Hoffman.
Another big reason why Philadelphia, all their experience the last couple of years, their bullpen is better, I think. And one of the reasons is this young man has got a great breaking ball to go along with a good, to say, way above average fastball.
Got the call there, 1-2 on Castro. Well, Hoffman was the first-round pick of the Blue Jays a decade ago. Top prospect, goes from the Blue Jays to the Rockies. So hard to debut there and succeed. He had a 6 ERA over 5 seasons there. Castro goes the other way. You were talking about it earlier, John. One of the biggest reasons the Guardians are having the season they're having. You get it to the 9th inning, done deal with Emmanuel Clase.
Throws gas, spins it, hard to hit.
Pete Alonso leads off for the National League, down 2, strike 1, fouling a fastball back. 2 years ago, struck out the side in the 9th inning on 10 pitches to finish the game at Dodger Stadium. 3rd consecutive All-Star trip for him. And a 3rd straight season leading the league in saves. Clase already 29 of them. Is 0-1 to Alonso. Swing and a miss. 101. 101 cutter.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, it's hitters are going to tell you when you can throw a cutter, especially inside to a right-handed hitter.
0-2. Shot down the line, foul. Here's what he did 2 years ago at Dodger Stadium. One of his first times kind of stepping into the spotlight. He just blew guys away.
Striking out the side and loving every minute of it.
A couple years later, even better. 45 games, he's given up 4 earned runs. He's back where he started his career here in Texas. Debuted as a 21-year-old back in 2019. And then was traded to Cleveland in the Corey Kluber deal after that first year. Clase to Alonso with another 0-2. He struck him out. 93-mile-per-hour slider after those triple-digit cutters. 1 gone in the 9th. De La Cruz heads up there. Big Noon Saturday is back. The #1 most watched game window in college football returns with the best matchups, the biggest teams, and the best announcers. The season kicks off August 31st on Fox. De La Cruz singled his first time. Trying to set the table here. Jackson Merrill waits on deck. First of what feels like will be many trips to the All-Star game for the 22-year-old. There's the obvious physical gifts, but there's the exuberance that he plays with. And the people around the Reds talk about his work ethic as just being off the charts. Yeah, he's the most talented guy, but he's also first one there, last one to leave, fills all those cliches too. On a 1-1 from Class A, De La Cruz takes the ball.
And I thought it was interesting the manager said his flashiness is not for show. It's really because he enjoys playing and is playing with that kind of excitement all the time.
Big dreams, too. He says, I want to be better than anybody that's ever done it. Top of the second. Jordan Westberg to the outfield grass. 2 gone in the 9th inning. Well, it was Ohtani with that 3-run home run that had the National League off and rolling in the 3rd inning, but the AL ties it up in the bottom of the 3rd. And then the tie-breaking home run from Jarren Duran in the 5th inning. Still the difference in this game. Bruce Bochy won a world championship last year, managing his 4th All-Star game. His team out away from winning it. Merrill bounces it gently in front of the plate. That is picked up fair. Tossed to first late, and a mistake there by Clase. Ball was rolling foul. Merrill's aboard, and the National League has hope.
Yeah, it looked like that ball definitely was going to go foul.
All right, so Merrill gets a 37-mile-per-hour infield hit. Tying run to the plate. 2 gone in the 9th inning. Brian Reynolds up. Singled on the first pitch that he saw, his first at-bat, and takes 100. That's a little bit off of the plate, but called a strike. Good luck. Strike 2. Looking for his 30th save of the summer. Class A's 0-2 is fouled into the glove for strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to the National League. The AL's back on top with a 10th win in the last 11 All-Star games.
Well, we saw a little bit of everything. We saw power. We saw power arms. But the one swing right there from Duran was the difference. It looked really good for the National League after Shohei Ohtani hit the 3-run homer, but then quickly the American League tied it right out in the bottom of the inning and never looked back.
Now, how about Jarren Duran, likely headed for an MVP trophy? As Reynolds is headed back to the dugout, as so many hitters have against Clase, who gets his 2nd All-Star save and as many appearances. Word as we go down to the field. Kevin Burkhardt, take it away, bud.
Joe, I think you're onto something for sure. But first, let me introduce someone who I know Rangers fans are fond of. This guy was a 7-time All-Star, former All-Star Game MVP. Let's hear it from Michael Young, ladies and gentlemen. And Michael is here, as Joe mentioned, to present the Ted Williams MVP presented by Chevrolet. Michael, you want to do the honors? It's Jarren Duran from the Red Sox. What are you going to do with that? I mean, that's going to look nice in the office, I think, Jarren.
Yeah, I'll probably end up giving it to my dad, and he'll put it in a nice place for me to hold for the season.
What did this mean for you this whole weekend? Just to get to be here as an All-Star for the first time. It's been your breakout year, and then to do that and hit the game-winning home run tonight.
Honestly, I can't really put it into words right now. I'm kind of overwhelmed with emotions, but I'm just very thankful to be here, and to represent the Red Sox is a big honor.
Take us into the mindset of the at-bat, right? You know you get an at-bat, maybe 2 in an all-star game. What's your approach going to the plate, and when you connected, what are you thinking watching it go?
I mean, I know he throws really hard, so I was like, all right, I'm hoping he throws me a fastball first pitch so I can see how hard it is. And then he just gave me a pitch to put a good swing on, and that's probably the first pitch I've ever pimped in my life, and I was just trying to soak it all in, but it was a surreal moment.
You got the game-winning home run in an all-star game. When you sit down on the plane to go home, what will you take in from this whole experience?
Probably hanging out with those guys in the clubhouse, man. There's so many good guys in that clubhouse. I mean, there's guys that are supposed to be our rivals in our division, but they're such awesome guys. It's going to be hard to play against them coming up because they're such good guys, and it's going to be super fun.
It's been fun watching you do your thing, fun watching the Red Sox play well. You want to hold up your MVP for the fans. Ladies and gentlemen, Jarren Duran, the MVP of the All-Star Game, and well-deserved. Joe, we go back to you.
All right, KB. Jarren Duran, he's a good baseball player growing up, was always one of the smallest kids and didn't think he had a serious future in baseball. Before he planned on going into baseball, his goal was to become a Navy SEAL. But he hit a growth spurt, started playing better and better baseball, got his chance in college, and look at him now. We've got plenty more coming here from Texas on the other side of this break. Kevin Burkhardt heads over there to chop it up with the guys after the All-Star game. The American League takes it by a final of 5-3. The Stars showed up. We've got plenty more coming up on Fox.
And picks for the highlight reel. Because Saturdays on Fox, we got you.